Hail to thee, O Nile, who manifests thyself over this land, and comes to give life to Egypt. Mysterious is thy issuing forth from the darkness, on this day whereon it is celebrated, watering the orchids created by Ra, to cause all the cattle to live. You give the earth to drink, inexhaustible one, path that descends from the sky, loving the bread of Seb and the first fruit of Nepera. You cause the workshops of Ptah to prosper. Lord of the fish, during the inundation, no bird all alight on the crops. You create the grain, you bring forth the barley, assuring perpetuity to the temples. If you cease, you toil, and your work, then all that exists is in anguish. If the gods suffer in heaven, then the faces of men waste away. Then he torments the flocks of Egypt, and the great and small are in agony. But all the changed for mankind when he comes. He is endowed with the qualities of Nun. If he shines, the earth is joyous. Every stomach is full of rejoicing. Every spine is happy. Every bone in the jaw crushes its food. He brings the offerings as chief of provisioning. He is the creator of all good things, as a master of energy, full of sweetness in his choice. If offerings are made it thanks to him, he brings forth the herbage for the flocks, and sees that each god receives his sacrifice. All that depends on him is a precious incense. He spreads himself over Egypt, filling the granaries, renewing the marts, watching over the goods of the unhappy. He is prosperous to the height of all desires, without fatigueness himself therefore. He brings again his lordly bark. He is not sculptured in stone, in the statue's crown with the urious serpent. He cannot be contemplated, nor servitus he. No barriers of offering. He is not enticed by incantations. None knows the place where he dwells. None discovers his retreat by the power of written spells. No dwelling which may contain you. None penetrates within your heart. Your young men, your children applaud you and render unto you royal homage. Stable are your decrees for Egypt before your servant of the north. He stanches the water from all eyes and watches over the increase of his good things. Where misery existed, joy manifests itself. All beasts rejoice. The children of Sobek, the sons of Neith, the cycle of the gods which dwells in him, are prosperous. No more reservoirs for watering the fields. He makes mankind valiant, enriching some, bestowing his love on others. None commands at the same time as himself. He creates the offerings without the aid of Neith, making mankind for himself with multiform care. He shines when he issues forth from the darkness to cause his flocks to prosper. It is his force that gives existence to all things. Nothing remains hidden for him. Let men clothe themselves to fill his gardens. He watches over his works, producing the inundation during the night. The associate of Ptah, He causes all his servants to exist, all writings and divine words, and that which he needs in the north. It is with the words that he penetrates into his dwellings. He issues forth at his pleasure through the magic spells. Your unkindness brings destruction to the fish. It is then that prayer is made for the annual water of the session. Southern Egypt is seen in the same state as the north. Each one is with instruments of labor. None remains behind his companions. None clothes himself with garments. The children of the noble put aside their ornaments. He, night, remains silent. But all one is changed, but the inundation. It is the healing balm for all mankind, establisher of justice. Mankind desires you, supplicating you to answer the prayers. You answer them by the inundation. Man offer the first fruits of corn. All the gods adore you. The birds descend not on the soil. It is believed that with your hand of gold you make bricks of silver. But we are not nourished on lapis lazuli, what alone gives vigor. A festival song is raised for you on a harp with the accompaniment of the hand. Your young men and your young women acclaim you and prepare their long exercises. You are the august ornament of the earth, letting your bark advance before men, lifting up your heart of women in labor, and loving the multitude of the flocks. When you shine in the royal city, the rich man is stated with good things. The poor man even disdains the lotus. All that is produced is of the choicest. All the plants exist for your children. If you have refused to grant nourishment, the dwelling is silent, devoid of all that is good. The country falls exhausted. O inundation of the Nile, offerings are made up unto you. Men are emulated to you. Great festivals are instituted for you. Birds are sacrificed to you. Gazelles are taken for you into the mountain. Pure flames are prepared for you. Sacrifice is metal to every god as it is made to the Nile. The Nile has made its retreats in the southern Egypt. Its name is not known beyond the Tau. The god manifests not his forms. He baffles all conception. Men exalt him like the cycle of gods. They dread him who creates the heat, even him who has made his son the universal master in order to give prosperity to Egypt. Come and prosper, come and prosper, O Nile, come and prosper. O you who make them men to live, though his flocks and his flocks through his orchards, come and prosper, O Nile, come and prosper.